Welcome to my first anime overview, or just me doing an overview of something in general, because I plan on doing things outside of anime. But anyway, you get my point. Welcome to my first overview. And the thing I'm going to be doing in this video that won't happen in any other video, so this video is going to be a little bit longer or happen in any other of these type videos, is that I'm going to sit down and explain each section as they come. Because I was going to do a separate video covering like each section of these reviews and how they're going to go, but I just say, you know what, why not go ahead and do it in my first one to get it out the way. So then therefore after that, I don't have to explain anymore and make a whole separate video and yada yada yada. Just smash them together and call it a day. So yeah, this video might be a little bit longer than 15 minutes. I don't know, because I'm going to sit down, like I said, and explain the objective of each section. But, you know, we'll see as we get there and as this video goes along. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So the character section is going to mainly consist of me talking about each character, mainly the main characters, the important characters, you know, the characters that are the center of the plot or the focus of the plot or whatever you want to say. Just the main characters, the important characters. And I'm going to give you a brief description of them. And then if I have time, I'll include my favorite characters, the characters that I enjoyed. But that really comes with some, like, I guess you could say caveats, in the sense of, like, if I have enough time, I'll do it. You know, if I don't, then I won't. Or depending on how many characters I have to talk about, if there's a whole bunch of characters that I have to list off, then I won't talk about my favorite characters then, because I done already talked about like 6 characters. I don't want to tack on another 4 or whatever the case may be. So that's normally how this section is going to go, is that mainly talk about the main characters. If I have time to throw my favorites in, I will. If I don't, I won't. So let's actually talk about the characters now. So our first character is none other than our protagonist, Devilman himself, Akira. And well, he's a crybaby, hence why it's called Devilman Crybaby. But the thing is that he doesn't cry for himself, he cries for other people. And that's because he's always wanting to help people. He's always willing to lend a hand. And that's what makes Akira so admirable throughout this series, is that even at his lowest points, he's always willing to help somebody. But I'm not going to say any more than that, because I don't want to get into spoilers. Then our next character is none other than the guy who got Akira into all this bullshit, Ryo. And Ryo, when he first starts off, you kind of just see him as like a friend of Akira, and you know, the way that they set him up. But of course, it doesn't even go the way that you think it's gonna go, because basically Ryo is just a user. Once again, I'm not gonna get into specifics why, but you'll see throughout the course of the show how much of a user he is. And that's the best description I can give him, is that he is a user. And then last but not least, for important characters, we have none other than Miki Makamura, because they constantly say her name, her first and last name, so you have no other choice but to remember it. And basically, Miki is the bright light of this show, because this show is dark, but she is that bright light. She is the hopeful one. She is always optimistic, even in times where like serious shit is going on. Like one moment that I can recall, which of course once again I'm not going to get into because it's spoiler territory, where it's very dark, it's very grim. She's still the bright light in that situation, despite how bad the moment is. And yeah, she's basically the breath of fresh air and all the smog darkness of this damn anime. And then as far as my favorite characters, because I was actually able to fit favorite characters in here, is the dudes that rap. I couldn't fit all the names, but you know, Wamu is one of them. He's the one who has his hat backwards, and I think he has a chain on, and he always wearing a white shirt. Gabi is the one with like the dreads, like the like shaven sides, but with the dreads coming out in the back. Mayuta is the one with the gold sunglasses. Like all them dudes, fucking dope. All them dudes are fucking dope. Like I didn't think that I was gonna like them characters that much, but after watching the show, those are some of my favorite characters, man. Those characters was pretty fucking dope. I can't really give you too much of a description of them, because they kind of get time in the show, but then they kind of don't. Like, they time don't really come towards till towards the end of the show. So I can't really give away too much, but yeah, man, it's pretty fucking dope, man. They some dope ass characters. Next is the story. So basically with the story section, essentially what I'm doing is I'm going to give you is what I always say, a very bare bones synopsis of the plot, which basically is exactly how it sounds. It's a very bare bones, like not even somewhat of a spoiler or somewhat of a hint to what's going on. To a certain extent, I got to talk about what's going on, but you get my point. Nothing that's going to give you too much insight into the overall plot of the story. And it's just like a very, once again, bare bones synopsis. So the plot in the story summary, bare bones synopsis I could come up with was essentially that people are turning into demons, right? And Ryo needs Akira's help to figure out why. And that's the best thing that I can come up with without giving away too much. Like, that to me gives you exactly what you need to where you're like, okay, that sounds interesting or that sounds boring. So that was the best that I could come up with without getting into like a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's called Devilman's Crybaby. You know he's gonna turn into Devilman. That's not really a surprise, so that's why I didn't include that. But overall, it's like that's the best that I can give you, the most I can get you before I start teetering into like spoiler territory. So yeah, that's essentially the story. Now we get into my likes and dislikes, and I mean that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just gonna talk about what I liked and didn't like. It's that fucking simple. So starting off with the likes, I love the style, the art style and the animation of this show. I honestly think if they went for what most animes look like nowadays, hence like something like a My Hero or even something like a Demon Slayer or something like that, like just a newer style of anime, like those art styles, I don't think it would have been able to translate as well. I think the very rough sort of like second draft look that it has, like or second sketch draft, I don't know how to say it, but you get my point. Like, it don't look like they went through multiple renders of the drawings. It looks like they just stopped at the second render and was like, all right, that's good enough. Just that look, or better yet, what I like to refer to as, because it's the only thing I can think of most of the time, is the Shin-chan look. If you remember Shin-chan, how it looked all weird and unfinished and shit, that's essentially how this looks. And I think that's the perfect thing because it translates better, especially when it comes to a lot of action and a lot of the grim scenes and a lot of stuff that it does. I think if it tried to go for a more cleaner art style and a cleaner look, it just wouldn't have been able to hit as hard and do what it was trying to do if it had that type of art style. That's just me, but I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just me. At the end of the day, that's just me. The next thing I liked, which really took me by surprise, was the rapping. I didn't think the rapping was gonna be as good as it was. I remember one of my friends telling me about the rapping. My homeboy Soup, shout out to you if you see this. I remember he told me about the rapping a long time ago, and I kind of dismissed what he was saying because I'm gonna be real with you. He's not a huge rap fan. Like, he kind of just listens to whatever me and my homies are listening to, or like if we give him a recommendation or just basically mainstream shit. He's not like a super huge rap fan. Like, he's not like me out here looking for new artists and shit like that. Like, he just listens to kind of like whatever. So when he was telling me that the rapping was good, I was kind of like dismissing. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. But he wasn't lying. The rapping is really fucking good in here. And the one that I love the most is in episode 7. At the beginning of episode 7, I think it is, yeah. They're rapping, and that rap is fucking dope, dude. Like, the rapping in this is really fucking good. So I had to give it a shout out. Excuse me. The next like I have is the tone, the dark and grittiness of this fucking show. When I tell you that this show gets fucking dark, I mean it gets fucking dark, especially towards the end. I pretty much would say after episode 5, that's like the teetering point. Like, because the thing about it is that before, a lot of it is just like, it's dark and gritty in the sense of just like visually. So like, you have a lot of blood splatters and like a lot of sex and violent imagery and stuff like that. To me, that's nothing. It's the tone and like the way that things happen and how fucked up a lot of the situations are afterwards, which I'm not saying that some of the shit that happened in the first 5 episodes ain't fucked up, but I'm just saying, like, essentially from episode 5 and up, I would even say episode 6 and up, just, I'm telling you, when you watch it, you'll understand what I'm saying. Just the shit that happens and the way it goes down, and it's just so fucked up. And I loved every single second of it. That's the thing, because I love dark and gritty shit. I do. That's why I'm so glad I finally sat down and read Berserk, which is easily one of my favorite mangas of all time, because it's so fucking good. But anyway, we're not talking about Berserk right now. You get my point, though. Dark and grittiness of it, I fucking loved. The next thing I would talk about is the dub, dude. The dub is so fucking good, man. I know a lot of people hate dubbed animes for some reason. I don't know why. To be real with you, get a fucking life if you hate dubbed anime. It's not that fucking serious. It's just a cartoon. It's just fictional shit at the end of the day. That's not gonna mean shit once we all dead and this world cease to exist. But anywho, the dub for this show is fucking amazing. Bottom line, if you want to watch the show, I highly recommend you watch the dub. If you gotta watch the sub, of course Netflix has that as well. But if you're like me and you don't give a shit about dub versus sub, you just want to enjoy the fucking show, I highly recommend you watch the dub because it is fucking solid. And when I mean solid, I mean solid. Every character's voice matches their face. That's always the biggest thing for me when it comes to dub, is do the character's voice match their face? And I'm telling you, every single voice matches the face. It's really fucking good. And another thing, the last like that I have really, so kind of another thing, but the last like, is this is an easy watch. With it being 10 episodes, you can easily knock this out within 2 days. I knocked it out in 2 days. When I first watched it, I watched it over a week because I don't like to force myself to watch animes like in like long sessions, and I was watching like 2 episodes a day. So it took me a week the first time, but because I didn't fully understand the show and I didn't understand where it was going and like a lot of the things, I rewatched it so I could get this review done before the end of the month, which is this Friday, which I should be able to. And I knocked it out in 2 days because it is such a short watch. It's only 10 episodes. If you watch 4 episodes, it's only 2 hours worth of your time. So you pretty much halfway through at that point. And like I said, I knocked it out in 2 days. I started late on Sunday night and I finished it on the early Monday, Monday that just passed in the morning. And it was like, I was already done. I was like, damn, that shit literally took me 2 days. And that's just because, like I said, I don't like watching anime in super long sessions. But if you're one of those people who can just sit down and watch anime for 5-6 hours straight, then you definitely gonna blow through this shit. Because this is probably, what, 2 episodes an hour. So that's 4 hours. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. No, my bad. That's 5 hours. My dumb ass. Stay in school, kids. That's 5 hours. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that's 5 hours and you're already done. So you watched the whole anime in one day within the 5 hour span. So yeah, this is a very easy watch. Now for my dislikes. The only dislike that I have 2 really. One is that and this first dislike is not necessarily a dislike for me, but it could be for some people. That's why I'm putting it up here as a dislike. And that is, you might have to watch this twice to fully understand. If you can somehow get all of this and figure out all of this shit by the end of your first watch, more props to you. But I sure as fuck couldn't. So I went ahead and had to watch this twice. Or I went ahead and watched it twice. I had to watch it twice. I just figured out what I said didn't make any sense right there. But you get my point. I had to watch it twice. And it didn't bother me none because actually watching it a second time made me enjoy it even more. But if you're one of those people who don't like to watch animes more than once, or you think you shouldn't have to watch anime more than once to understand it, that's why I put this down as a dislike. And then the other dislike, I'm gonna keep very vague, but I still want to put this in here. I didn't like how they handled one character in the show. There's a character that eventually end up changing, and what I don't like is how they went about that change, because the problem is that they don't explain it. It just happens. And even with me watching it twice, I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, how the fuck did that character change? Like, they never even somewhat tried to explain how that character changed. Like, the change just happens and then they're just like, yeah, deal with it. And you're like, what? But I didn't. And then once again, when me watching it again, I was looking for the signs, and I'm like, okay, I can see how they're starting to change throughout the episodes, but there's still no initial sign of something happening to where the change happens or it starts or whatever the case may be. So that was my only really big negative with this. Like I said, the first negative or dislike, better yet, is not really a dislike to me, but the second one definitely is. And yeah, that is my overview on this show. If you want to go and watch it based off what you heard, go ahead. If you don't, that's absolutely fine too. but it's your decision at the end of the day. And that's what these videos are for, is just to give you some insight into said show, and then you choose whether or not you want to go and watch it. And I actually did a decent job. I did a decent job. I didn't go too far over 15 minutes. But yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next overview. It will be on Big O, because I'm trying to keep this theme going of like doing a newer anime and like an older one. And Big O is old enough, like it's super fucking old. I was originally gonna do Evangelion, so this is a bit of a how can I say it? Like I need some help. This is like me shooting the SOS flare Monster Hunter. I need some help right now. If you are well versed in Evangelion stuff and you know the series like the back of your hand, how should I go about watching that? Because every time I look it up, there's a whole bunch of people who say that you should watch it this way, you should watch it that way, yada yada yada, and I don't fucking understand how I'm supposed to watch it, where I'm supposed to watch it. Some people say that the Netflix shit is bad. Some people say the Netflix shit is good. I have no fucking idea, and I really want to watch Evangelion because I've always been interested in the series. I just never actually sat down and watched it, and that was the one I was originally going to do next, but I just don't fucking know how to watch it or how to go about watching it. So this is me calling out to all my Evangelion fans. If you stumble by this, or as I used to say, be a tumbleweed ass nigga and you just roll by this like a tumbleweed, can you please help a nigga out? Can you help a nigga out? Try to help him figure out how to do, or not how to do, but how to watch Evangelion. But yeah, next overview is gonna be on none other than Big O. It's Showtime. I haven't watched that show in quite a few years, so I'm definitely excited to watch it again. So yeah, that we're gonna end it there. Okay, so I forgot to say this, so I had to come back and make another recording. I will always upload a Methough at the end, or not at the end, but after my initial overview to go into spoilers and stuff. So once again, I meant to add that shit to the end, or to the actual overview at the end, but I forgot. So yeah, every time I drop an overview, I will be making a separate Methough that will be going into spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, don't fucking click on those Methoghs after I upload an overview of whatever the fuck I did an overview over. I didn't mean to say it like that, but you get my point. Over, Range Rover, Grover, I'm done.